Aloha, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Tyler, for that kind introduction. As Tyler said, we're here in the Aloha No exhibition presentation at the Honolulu Museum of Art. I am honored to be one of the three curators with Bina Choi and Noel Kahanu, who organized this edition of the Triennial. The exhibition features 49 artists across 14 sites on Oahu, in Maui, and also on Hawaii Island. And you can pick up one of these guidebooks that they have floating around here at the museum that will show you all the sites and list all the artists and give you a good, even tips on places to eat and things like that, which is fun. And so I wanted to first say thank you to the Honolulu Museum of Art, to the teams here, to Tyler for being such a wonderful collaborator. This is really an important partnership for Hawaii Contemporary, and we do see our different sites that we present at as really partners in the making of selecting, designing the space, really trusting one another through this process. And so it's been such a pleasure to get to know the team here at the museum. Hawaii Triennial 2025 has embraced the theme Aloha No. It's inspired by Hawaiian values. The theme of the exhibition centers on aloha, an expression of solidarity and interconnectedness and care. Aloha is rooted in pilina and reciprocity, not just between people, but between people and their land. It's a collective and powerful commitment to reject the divisiveness of colonialism and to build strong community bonds. We, the curatorial team, envisioned Aloha No as an act of revolutionary love and resistance. It is deeply political and sometimes a little radical. The theme extends beyond Hawaii and the Pacific while remaining rooted in these places. It includes the voices and perspectives of artists from regions with shared histories and challenges, and highlights the solidarities and focuses on building common understanding to strengthen our collective efforts. At the Honolulu Museum of Art, on the front lawn, where you saw Rose B. Simpson's sculpture, and in Gallery 14 and Gallery 28, Aloha No is explored through the works of art that expand on the diverse experiences of women as leaders, healers, travelers, and survivors. The artists in this presentation share work that challenges the idea of time, not as a straight line, and encourages us to think about how destruction and creation, loss and healing are all part of a continuous cycle. They offer ways to reflect on the steadfast persistence of life, often to be found in womanhood, despite the lasting impacts of colonialism and its aftermath. One of the many wonderful artists that you see here in Gallery 28 is Citra Sasmita. And we are so honored and excited that she could be here today to share more about her practice and her contributions to Aloha No. And before I pass it to Citra, I just want to introduce her practice and her work. Citra Sasmita's work focuses on unraveling the myths and misconceptions of Balinese art and culture. At the same time, shedding light on the Dutch colonial history, which has long shaped notions of authenticity in Bali. She's passionate about questioning a woman's role in society and aims to challenge traditional gender norms. Citra employs the kamasan painting technique, which originates from a small village in East Bali since the 15th century, and it's traditionally exclusively practiced by men to narrate Hindu epics. She engages with it as a reclamation of female agency, reimagining narratives drawn from ancient Balinese literature, rituals, mythologies, and iconography. In 2019, Citra started Timur Merah, The East is Red, an ongoing body of work that features powerful, bare-bodied women as protagonists, symbolizing resistance and rewriting of their stories. Each chapter of Timur Merah focuses on a specific theme. For Aloha No, Citra addresses the Ring of Fire, which she's going to talk more about, the tectonic belt of volcanoes and earthquakes that encompasses many of the islands in the Pacific, including Bali and Hawaii. Citra is such a force. In the last couple of years, she has participated in biennials in Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates, Toronto, Canada, Sydney, Australia, Diriyah, Saudi Arabia, and Sao Paulo, Brazil. So it is such an honor that she agreed to participate in her busy schedule to not only be part of Aloha No, but to also create a new work for our exhibition. And so I'm just so grateful to you, Citra, for your energy, your time, your commitment, and your passion to want to engage here in Hawaii. I think that for us as a curatorial team, that was a huge thing that we were looking for in artists that wanted to be part of Aloha No. And you rose to the occasion in your crazy schedule, and you made us such a wonderful work of art.
It's my great honor to be here.
Thank you.
It meant to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Aloha, everyone. Aloha. Oh, now 500 people here. Thank you so much. I mean, it's great honor. Me in Hawaii is my first time. I think why I'm here, I mean, so there's a reason actually, and we just met you, like, you bring me the reason I'm here, to see the collection, great collection from Indonesia to in this museum. Okay, maybe I would love to start to explain my formulation of making artwork that become an accumulation of my experience practicing art seriously in this past 10 years. I read a book written by P.G. Zoetmulder. He is expert of Japanese poetry from Netherlands. And he made a very interesting formulation about how traditional artists, Eastern artists, indigenous artists work. It's like a triangle relational. So artists have kind of methods, discipline, and long practice, learning from the teacher, from the master. And then their practice, and then the method want to connect to the divine, to the God, to the high spirit. So they believe this high spirit, the God, can manifest to the artwork. So it becomes the temple to the people. Art can touch the people. This is the foundation of how I'm making art today, bringing a complex cosmology of Balinese culture and ritual to create this kind of language. Because if you see the coding, the language in my iconography, maybe it makes you curious and what is the meaning behind it. That's why I would love to introduce the first step to understand, to enter my world and my labyrinth of mind by telling you this kind of methods that I believe we can rejuvenate today, become a new perspective seeing art, a new perspective of valuing art. And I really feel amazed by Hawaii Triennial, how they named the Triennial Aloha No. Mean they accepting love from all over the world, from the artists they invited, showing artwork as the love. Bring the term of the aloha in the name of the Biennale. It reflects me into my old language in Bali. We call it taksu. Taksu means the power that can store into the artwork. So people can feel the resonation of the artwork by this kind of the method. So we didn't see the making work, artwork is something just to present, to hang on the gallery, but it's also part of our offering to make, to see the energy of the space, how they can communicate each other. I mean, I'm really fascinated how the curator managed to bring all this great work together with my artwork. They like communicate each other, like Heb Kahraman, for example. This artist with the rawness of the sense of material in the painting, on the artwork installation. So why I bring this kind of shape in the middle of this space, the circle one, with the charcoal in the middle, is how I want to reflect my cultural memory. I grew up with Hindu Balinese ritual. We believe in ancestor. We believe in the cycle from the mountain to the sea, and it will like go round and around. The journey is very important in reading this work. And then the shape of the circle is also from a very high resonant alphabet of describing the God, like from Om. Om Hum means you exist because of the God. And then the inner calcul here is about the magma, the fire inside the mountain that we believe is very sacred and have a purification to who devoted the fire. And then the cowhide is actually come from very important ritual happening in Bali, like once in 10 years, once in 50 years, or once in 100 years to bless the nature and to sacrifice the cow. In somehow maybe it's like form of violence, but for us it's like a very equal distribution, food for gathering for the people. And I believe the ritual is also a form, a performance, so we can have a sense of the communality by making the coding together, the code of the nature. Because all of the offering in Balinese ritual is actually the code of nature. We made the code of the river, we made code of the mountain or the planet, something like that, in the form of symbol, in the form of the, let's say, from the art that considered durable or have a temporary, because after the ritual finish, we like let go the artwork to be, you know, like to be burned, to be broken, something like that. So we believe in the reincarnation concept. It's not actually when like the soul reborn, like to be somebody else, but it's also in our knowledge too, like making artwork. If we burn it, we believe the knowledge is remaining in our body, so we can remake it and remake it. So there's a lot of repetition in the making of art. And the cowhide here is also lead me into the imaginary of the shape of the island in the ring of fire, because we are in this island are really sensitive with the earthquake, for example, as the sign from the nature, what will happening after this disaster. But what make us remain stay in the island if there is, you know, something special there, like even after eruption of the mountain, we celebrate it by, you know, like a ritual. Like after the eruption, there will be fertile soil for the farmer to plant the, you know, like for food, etc., for the harvest, new things. So the meaning is about how we accepting, always accepting about transformation. That's why a lot of iconography here, I like to attach body with the plant, with the herbal, with the nature, because it's really important to human still connected with the nature, not only like vertically with the God or the spirit, but vertically with the human and also the nature. Because if nature destroy, our body also will be destroyed, something like that. So this tree painting, this one symbolizes the sky with the head, with the knowledge that can reach the sky, symbolized with the tree, like genealogy tree, family tree with the head popping into the from the leaves in the branch. It's actually I try to find also the relation with another narrative, like what is the archetype narrative with this iconography, such as in Persian culture, there's a manuscript portray this kind of tree called al-waqwaq tree. If you ever heard about it?
I did my master's thesis on a waqwaq tree.
Amazing.
So I've heard of it, yes. You didn't know
So
that.
in Bali, we believe that kind of tree also exists. So this tree, if you very lucky go to further east to find this tree, it can heal any disease human. Like any pain, any hunger, any sorrow that human being feel. So this is a very magical tree and fruit. So if you go to the further to the east, if you heard something crying, something laughing, so that is the sign you found that tree, and only chosen people can find that tree. Is that the same?
It's very similar, yeah.
Okay. So it's about the desire we reach, about the truth that come from the sky. And then another painting over there is with the torso. There's a portal of the human existence that we aware we are all come from the womb. So I paint the snake, Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail is like the endless portal of human rebirth. Something like that. They have their spacious memory in their skin, in their organ, in the everything in our body, something like that. And the last one, the sitting meditate pose, is about the earth, how we manage to root it on the earth as we grounding, we aware about our existence. And we need to take care, everything grow from the earth, because we believe we are from the soil, we from the ground, something like that, and come back to the ground. Yes.
Can you share the snake, represent what the snake represents?
Yes.
That's the island, and yeah.
So a snake also, a lot of interpretation of the snakes. In the Hindu belief, snakes means kundalini, which means the inner power inside our body, from the backbone to the brain. So there's one hormone inside our brain called hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is the one who lead all the organ, the blood system, etc. It's like the source of the battery of the body. So you can imagine our shape of the backbone is like the snake, the head and the tail. And in another hand, to imagine our island with the form of snake is like, the head is like the mountain, the body is like the river flow, and then the tail is like the ocean. So that's why the movement of the snake is very dynamic, from the sea to the mountain, something. And every journey and every ritual, like from the birth to the death, symbolize from, like from the mountain to the sea. When we have somebody pass away, we will take them to the sea to be part of the nature. That's why when we see the tree, when we see the sea, it's like we see our father, it's like see our grandfather who passed away. So we really respect the nature and don't want to be destroyed. But in the other hand, that's what I want to criticize also, the aggressivity of the capitalism that make nature as a subordinate. But we still do this ritual until today, because we believe that's the only way to prevent the destruction, to keep our mindset to see the nature as our relative, to respect them, to, like we depend on each other and cannot be separate, something like that. That's why in a lot of my artwork, I always over people to feel the texture, to feel the materiality on the medium, not only like just, to see the process also, how it makes. Like I made some technique, layer technique here, like from the transparent to the dark on the edge. It's actually a technique from traditional painting in Bali to translate a philosophy of how humans are created from the ether, from the air, from the nothingness, and then from the water, and then go to the water, transform to the water, and then the last process is to be exist, to be physical, can touch, but it's not last longer, and it will become back to the dust, something like that. Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about how what you studied in school and how you were a self-taught artist and like your journey of becoming an artist?
Oh yes, yes. So actually, I didn't study art. I study physics. It's a long story because how I can tell, after graduate, I don't have any job, but suddenly I meet the guy who worked in the newspaper. So he offered me to work there as an illustrator for the short fiction. In the same time, also he wanted me to write about art and culture. That's where I begin to understand about art. So I write a lot of short fiction in a week, like 10 stories, and I should make like one from the 10. Like it's kind of process of me to gain visual vocabulary, my training. I worked there for like 6 years. And I kicked out because the bankruptcy of the newspaper, because they don't want to print newspaper anymore. They want to online, so they let it go some stuff. I kind of sad. But one thing I learned, this visual helped me to navigate what kind of narrative I want to illustrate something that written become something I can play with, like making my own cosmology into my painting. I like to write poetry, in the same time I like to make poetry to the visual here. Yes.
And how did you learn how to paint?
I like to paint actually from childhood, but to become mature in making painting, I met a teacher from Kamasan village. So they have a very old technique from 15th century called Kamasan painting. And I learned from the priestess who is a master of Kamasan painting. So she teach me the narrative and then the manuscript that I cannot read, and also the technique that is a lot. There's actually like 15 steps to make the original painting. But I cannot do all, like I'm cheated, like I only do 5. So I researched about this technique and knowledge, I think almost 6 years until today, and still ongoing, because I found a lot of coding that never, it's like a puzzle, and then you find another clue, because actually Balinese, we don't inherit the old painting. I should go to another museum to research the iconography, the knowledge, like the calendar, like the prediction, or the fact, because this painting talking about the history in subjective way, because all the history written by the, let's say, in colonial mindset, this painting led me into another truth, that history can be talk about fact, talk about the fiction, and also prediction. And you need, I mean, it's all spread all over the world, this kind of painting, the old painting that still store some fact and interesting prediction or interesting perspective. In Bali, it's only talk about Ramayana and Mahabharata, not much talk about this knowledge of season, knowledge about reading the nature, the phenomena. Because before we know Gregorian calendar, for example, we have a very ancient calendar talk about season. Actually we have 10 season, 30 month, 5 sacred day. Our cosmology is very fast, and we depends a lot of the situation, like the earthquake. Earthquake is also become a prediction of political situation that happening in Indonesia, for example, and also how we plant the rice in very good day, auspicious day, because there's a thermal influence from the mountain too. So we need to pray and to make rituals so the mountain is calm, so we can plant something like that. Yeah. We sing for the mountain, we dance for the mountain, and it's very beautiful to express, to resonate art, the body, art, and also the circumstances, something like that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll see if there are any questions from the audience. Any questions? Yeah, Jamie.
Thank you so much for your talk. Thank you for hosting here. I had a question about the embellishment of the beads.
The beads.
Can you talk about the beads a little bit, because they're so powerful in their pieces. So could you talk a little bit about what the beads mean?
Okay. So the combination of the painting and the beads, actually how I want to trace the memory on the skin. So I just follow the stretch mark from the skins. And my hypothesis is about how body have memory of the movement, memory of the journey, and also the space. So actually I have another work that full beads on the cowhide. That is more visible to talk about the root and the landscape of the body. But here is like, you know, kind of what can the mountain offer, like the mineral, the pearl, the precious things that can we gain after disaster. So nature is still good. Like we cannot hate the nature, because it's like a you know, like cycle transformation. And yeah, that's why we still stick on the island. We don't want to move. I mean, some disaster make people migrate. I mean, natural phenomena doesn't make us go from our land, but what make us go is like the crazy political situation. That's the fact today.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
That's sad, but true. Yeah.
Means like feeling rooted is very important. Rooted and accessing the old knowledge that being passed from the elder to us, something like that. Yeah. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Yeah, Navi?
Thank you. Your work is really incredible. I definitely see, you know, the ceremony aspect of the pieces, and you know, the charcoal in the middle, and this idea of the fire and the rebirth and destruction, and you know, transformation. You mentioned that it's a common practice to destroy art.
Yes.
Is that your plan with these?
For this? Yeah. No. No. I'm really attached for my artwork. Yeah, I cannot let go. I mean, yeah, like the Buddhist monk who make the mandala, it's very beautiful. I want to, like, no, it should be remain like that. Yeah, but it's really human. Like, we don't want something destroy, something beautiful to destroy. That's why it's like the peak of the spirituality that we are ready to destroy and recreate again. I'm too young for that, I think. Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was reading that this work is part of an evolving body of work that you're working on. So, could we see this in a different configuration 2 or 3 years from now, or will what we see in front of us always be presented in exactly the same way?
This one?
Yeah.
I'm very fluid with how I present my artwork. It's like I'm playing with my visual memory when we are making offering for ritual, how we, how we decorate, what is the, like the journey, the dramaturgy leading by the priest and followed by the people who pray, something like that. Because I've been in theater before, I'm making stage painting before when I'm joining the theater group in my university. So I like to see people when they react with my, respond with my artwork, they become actor here to navigate their self. And I'm, as the director, see the reaction, not to understand, but to feel, to experience what is the emotion, what is the movement in this installation. So I'm very sensitive with the space. So when I see the space in my mind, like I'm designing the set of the stage, what kind of act I want to offer to people, so they make a ritual for their self, to resonate to their self, something like that. Thank you.
Citra, can you talk about something you said yesterday that I think is really interesting, is the walking around.
Oh, yes,
and
yes,
the different directions and the symbolism of that.
Yeah, so the movement is also very meaningful for us. Like when you start the ritual, the first thing you do is you make initiation ritual that you go through the offering clockwise. Clockwise is actually the movement that focus on the ground. So everything on the ground, like the spirits, the angry spirit, etc., that can disturb the ritual, we should purify them first. So everything will be not disturb the main ritual. After that finish, the movement is like counterclockwise. So the movement is like reach up to the sky, so we can connect to the God. And we can, communicate, welcoming the ancestor, come from the earth to witness our ritual. And I mean, a lot of element when we practice this, like not only the dance, the movement, but the music is also resonation to welcoming God of the wind, God of the strength to witness the ritual. That the sign we can see from the flag. There's a flag as decoration. If it's like moving, means he appeared. It's like like music is also resonation. It's very physics. But there's a collision in. I've been learning about physics. There's a contradiction between logic and something not logic that happening in my culture. And now in my state, I'm choosing that unlogical thing. Something like that,
Maybe it's time for unlogical things in the world that we're living in today, you know?
Yes.
To go back to ceremony and to go back to, ancestral knowledge and to go back to this kind of bodily experience and connecting back to the land and to place, In a lot of ways, those are illogical, or would be described as illogical by the powers that run a lot of our countries today.
Yes,
you know?
yes,
And so
yeah.
it's a kind of colonial way of thinking. This is right and this is wrong. This is logical. This is illogical. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
were talking about this earlier
Yes,
today.
yes,
So, yeah.
yes.
I think we have time for another question or two if there are any other pressing questions. If not, that's okay. Jamie, you want to ask one more question? Yeah.
I'm sure other people have questions, but Citra, I just wanted to share that I brought my class the other day, and I have a lot of young women, local women in the class who are American, who saw like a really strident streak of feminism
Yes,
in your work.
yes.
They connect with a feminism
Yes.
in your work, and that's how they see it. But I wondered if you could talk about, like, do you connect with that, or do you resonate with that language?
Yes, yes, yeah. I mean, the ideology of feminism is the one who saved me between the tension of the traditional and what is modern life. I mean, as the young girl that time, I didn't understand what happening in my own culture, and I'm very rebel and anti-tradition. Now, it's not good to hate, because more hate you will be miss and love it. You cannot love your own, you cannot hate the culture. It leads you to love again, to learn to love again. And the feminism is actually the tools for me to make analysis and also formulation to read what's happening in my culture in Bali. It's very patriarchy. Why it's happening? What is the roots? But in my realization today, there's also difference between the spirits. Feminists as a spirit of the capitalism, and also feminism in spirit of ecology. So I considered my statement in my painting is more feminism in more ecological movement. Let's say before I understand women should have equal right in house, in domestic way, something like that, because in capitalism they're not well appreciated by the system, by the society. But it's more complex happening in a place that still transition into the modern life, because we still do tradition, but in other hand we want to be modern. We confused. That's why my artwork, the mission of my artwork is try to reconnect again the relation between human and nature, preventing the destruction of the modernity. I mean, it's really desirable to have modern life, but it's like empty shell, like our body will become a shell without the soul if we forget the traditional life, something like that. So this is also about this. I don't want my artwork also become the empty shell.
Yeah.
I want to injecting my soul, my ideology, the message, something that people can feel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take one more question.
So now that you have went to Hawaii, how do you think it would affect approaching a piece that you know is going to be displayed here?
It's a huge impact for me. Like, oh my God, it is surreal. It's very surreal. I actually feel like the landscape is similar with Bali. The energy is very similar, the nature. Even in the middle of the ocean, like wide ocean, us still have neighborhood island that, there's an influence of the, let's say, cultural collision, something like that, because Indonesia have so many cultures, so many language, so many tribes, but here I feel like connected with the similarity. Let's say the language of the archetype, like I talked with with Josh yesterday. Hawaii also now the the philosophy from the mountain to the sea, and then all the connection, I feel it here. And then the artwork, the backlot, we have backlot also in Bali. And because we don't have the tree anymore, we don't produce it. The backlot actually, the very important medium for us to paint for the ritual. The priest special make the backlot, and then the priest will make the drawing and the painting special for the bless the ritual, or when somebody pass away, the priest will make the painting as a transportation of the soul to the heaven, something like that. Yeah.
Maybe that's a good moment to invite everybody. Well, maybe first we'll say thank you to you, Citra.
Thank you so much. Thank you.